Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Queen's Talk panel. So, today we're talking about episode 8. Do you know what's funny? The episode seemed short, but it looked like a lot of things were happening. So, what do you guys think? Like, before we get into the episode, what's like your overall view of the episode?
Yeah, to be honest, I thought it was okay. I think the part that really got me was the last scene, I believe, with, yeah, that one, I have a lot to say about that. But I think for most of it, it was sort of building up to that point, if that makes any sense. But as soon as I saw that last one, I was like, yeah, no. So that was it for me.
Yeah, I felt like the interaction with Kimmy and Mel, it's way different than her relationship with all the other women. But did you guys notice, like, have you guys noticed how Mel actually can come and show business plans, show what she's doing, show how, she's actually making it outside of just the show. And
I
for
mean,
her to
I, I
bring,
I also noticed that this season it's almost like she's not even bothered about anybody. She's just here to advertise her business. Because people were
Mhm.
really coming for her in the previous season. They're like, oh, she's being messy, she's starting drama. So this is just like, I will just show you my business. 2 minutes, a scene, and I'm out.
Mhm. But for her to bring Kimmy in on it, and try to help her out, like Kimmy needs that. She definitely does because the dynamic with her and Maurice and being at home and, going through cancer treatment and all that, she needs an escape. She needs to be out and be on her own, doing her own thing because I don't see that being healthy for what she has going on. So I commend Mel and I thank her so much for actually, really trying to empower women and trying to pull, Kimmy out of kind of like this darkness that she's in.
See it.
But do you guys
So
see
let's
like a
get
parallel with, girl, I was just going to say, do you guys see a parallel with how initially at the start Mel sort of took Tisha under her wing? So similar to trying to show her the ropes and everything, and then Tisha did what Tisha did. And so I just hope it never really gets to that point because in certain interviews you can sort of see that Kimmy is a little bit shady, in my opinion. And so I just hope that it does not get to the point where they then fall out eventually. But yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worried about that too because there is some snake shit, about Kimmy. We have seen it. We have definitely seen how
But the
she can.
thing is that Kimi, one thing I like about her is that at least you know where you are, where you stand, how she feels. It's not like she pretends. Everybody knows that she has this kind of sneaky vibes, but when she's genuine, you would know. So one thing I noticed in this scene, I was happy that they at least advertised businesses because I'm tired. I've started noticing that at least in one episode they talk about one person's business. I don't know if I'm the only person. I'm starting to notice that trend. But Kimmy came here and she started complaining about Maurice and Monster. It's getting to the point that I think it's starting to affect her, the whole Maurice, Monster stuff. And I don't know why he does not understand that being a stepmom is not easy, especially to a teenager, because teenagers can be quite shady.
Very much so, and I don't understand why it is that he gave so much push and pull for Monster to be there, but yet you're not being an active parent like you need to be. And for you to have this huge list of things, but yet nothing really in the household, nothing that's going to help out with daily life, in the house. Okay, I understand the child needs goals. He needs to have, you know, aspirations and things like that. Cool. But you have to also focus on your daily. You have to focus on, I feel like he should have talked to Kimmy about that. Like, hey, this is what's going on with Munster. I'm gonna start this boot camp. Maybe is there something that you feel would help with this? Is
But
there
they had the
something that you might
conversation. This thing is
about the
like
boot camp?
commencing after death. This whole
Yes.
boot camp thing. Although we're going to get to that later. But if we're going back, it's like medicine after death because they had a conversation and Kimmi told him outright that she was actually wary about Monster coming because this dude is a teenager. You're
Mm-hmm.
uprooting him from his life, his friends, his family, his home. Everything is just about Maurice because she told him, oh, if you bring this boy in, you would have to like step up, you would have to do this. Now she's going around ranting because she's uncomfortable at home.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
Mm-hmm.
nowhere to actually rely on.
Yeah, she's fed up. You could tell she's getting to that point to where she's getting fed up with Maurice and how he is. Because before Monster got there, we seen how he was with her, where basically he already said he feels like men shouldn't have to do certain things and women should. And you're teaching that to your son, but you're not even showing him how to respect a woman. So when he gets older, what do you expect him to do? Be just like you and Marsau? Because that's how it's going to be.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and I feel like that's exactly what he's doing because the thing is, to him, the chores aren't really important, right? So he's not going to teach Monster what is not important to him. So in a way, he is encouraging and enabling Monster to be like, okay, I even hate calling him Monster, but whatever. Um, enabling him to be at a point where he's barely doing anything because that's what women are supposed to do in quotation marks. That's what he's trying to teach Monster. Because how do you write 20 things and you cannot think of something that is a problem for your wife? That's the
Send
problem.
by
Or even consider the conversation that you
she
guys had.
is everything, everything but the most important thing that she has been complaining about. Everything but the reason, like that was even the number one reason why he went to boot camp. His disobedience and his lack of like his grades, obviously. But seriously, I thought they had like a chat. I knew once they said, "Oh, go bring that list." I just knew that they were not going to have anything that has to do with chores. I just knew. And the way the boy was speaking, the way he was looking, the way he was communicating with Kimmi, it's actually quite obvious that he loathes Kimmi.
Yeah, and does not want to be there to have the conversation. He just
They
looks
need to
like
get the camera away from him. He loathes
100%.
Kimmi, he disrespects her,
Mm-hmm.
and to be honest, I will be sending him back to his mom.
100%. Because Maurice can handle him. And if he can't handle him, then, send him back to his mama. That's just the reality.
Yeah, I do hate calling him Monster, but it's kind of like you're making him live up to that name.
Mm-hmm.
And did you guys notice how he was like, well, when Kimmi was asking him, so what is, the boot camp about? What is it that you're doing? And he basically was like, I have to get up at 5 a.m.
I think he said that on purpose to actually get her mad.
Yeah, like what else is there to do? What is this boot camp about? What are you learning? What is the goal? Because I'm not really seeing it. And you guys, he has had conversations with Kimmi. We've seen the conversations that they have had about, you know, their the different situations and pertaining to Monster and how he is. There have been those conversations. So why was that not incorporated in the list of things that you're having Monster do?
To me, it was definitely not incorporated because Maurice doesn't find it important. But I can bet you if Monster goes to his mom's house, he will find it important. If Monster goes back home, he
100%.
will do those chores. He feels from the way I'm looking at it, because obviously there has been some gist that Kimmi was the other woman. So obviously he has some like animosity towards Kimmi. And at this point, Kimmi should not even be the one putting her foot down. It should actually be Maurice. But Maurice doesn't give two
Absolutely.
F's. And it's funny because his father did the same thing to his mom. So you would think that, oh, he's going to mature enough. He's going to like not have this circle repeat itself.
Yeah, you would think that, but
Kind of
no. And
her.
and also, I feel that with Kiowa, there was some, her feeling like Kimmi came in and kind of messed up the marriage. I feel like there was some talk, maybe to Monster about it. Because if you're scorned and you're hurt, sometimes you say things, whether it's to your children, whether it's to your peers, whether it's to, whoever will listen, you will vent and you will say some things. And I feel like Kiowa has said some things about Kimmi to Monster, and it does make him not respect Kimmi. And that's something Maurice needs to deal with. He should have dealt with that before even trying to have Monster come live there. There was a lot of things that I feel should have been taken care of before.
And the fact is that I'm not hating Monster on that because it's a normal feeling. I think someone is touching their mic and it's causing some kind of, yeah, it has stopped. So I understand Monster is a teenager, is processing the fact that his parents are divorced. But one thing is that they've been divorced for how long? It is way too long for him to still be holding this animosity. It's way too long. And the fact that they are not saying that, oh, it is actually way too long, and he's like just saying, oh, he's going to go to a boot camp. I'm telling you, if he had told me that the real reason why I went to that place is to wake up early, I would withdraw you from that place and send you back home because the disrespect was very loud. Yeah, Kimmi really needs her diversion. She's starting to look. Did you see how old she looked? I don't even want to put
I
this
was gonna
Yeah,
say that she
She
looked like
looks
she is
old.
aging double time.
but I think it could also be the radiation that is affecting how she looks. But I don't know if you guys picked up on when Monster was saying that he feels like Kimmi gives him harsher consequences than Maurice. And I'm like, that's a problem. Like, Maurice needs to step in and act like a father and be able to, like, say, seriously, you need to do this. If you're in this house, you need to do this. He needs to put his foot down. But he's not going to do that. Instead, I think he enjoys making Kimmi look like the bad person because that's the only explanation at this point.
I don't I don't think it's about enjoying Kimmi looking like a bad person. I think he just doesn't know how to be a father. He doesn't know how to be a father. He doesn't know what to do. Because when he claimed, like, if we can go back to the season when he said he wanted to bring this boy, he said he wanted this guy to have like a father figure, a male figure in his life so that he can grow appropriately. So he thinks because the only father figure he had was his dad that had 28 kids at the age of 28. So he feels like his father, the only thing he needs to do is to bring out this child, and then the woman is supposed to raise. That's what he thinks. So it's not like he hates Kimmi, he just doesn't know how to be a father. That's why he doesn't confront Monster. He does not call him out. He does not do anything because he doesn't think he should be the disciplinarian. Let me read some of the comments. No respect from husband or stepson. I would pack my bags. Now, the way he was talking like he did not know why she was angry, I was pissed. Monster looks like he hated Kimmi. He looks at her with despite. Oh my God, I think I have a picture. Don't tell me I didn't add it to this slide. Oh shit, I didn't add it. There was one time that he was staring at her. I was like,
But
damn,
where do y'all
Kimmi,
think all of that comes from?
Kimmi. His
Where do
mom.
you?
But you would understand that he was a teenager processing the whole thing. Why do you think it did not affect Jalen? Because
Mm-hmm.
Jalen had a stable mother that was able to mother him properly. So he
Right.
doesn't feel Jalen will confront Maurice. Jalen always confronts Maurice. You cannot try
Mm-hmm.
Kimmi in front of Jalen.
Not at
But
all.
so you can see the disparity. They should have left this boy with Kaiwa so that he will have a little bit of stability because, to be honest, the animosity is very obvious.
I feel like that's what Maurice is actually wanting. He's wanting Kimmi to just take care of everything because of how she raised Jaden. Because she did so well with Jaden by herself as a single mom, he's basically putting her in that position again with Monster. But
But
he's
she's
not
fighting
understanding,
cancer. She's fighting
right?
cancer.
And Monster's not her child. She can't do certain things with Monster that she could with Jaden, or Jalen, because that was her son. Jalen was hers. Monster's not. There's too much animosity, too much going on between her and Kiowa that she's not going to be able to parent correctly. And then Maurice, you don't step in as a parent. What father figure or what male figure does Marsau and them have, or Maurice? What? Because I need to understand their background, because
Nothing.
clearly there's definitely a disconnect when it comes to it. There's no
I think their father
male
was
role
never.
models in their life that show them.
Yeah, I feel like their father was probably never present, like Matthew and
His
Maurice's
father was not
father.
present
And I think,
because
and
Marcel
I
said
think
that
that,
in an
yeah.
interview.
Oh, okay, exactly. Because that explains why he doesn't know how to parent a kid that lives in his house. Like seriously, if I was Kiowa, I would go and pick up that child because it's only a matter of time. If you don't have that, that strong influence, you're going to turn wayward. It's just the reality. Because the thing is, you start to take liberties that you shouldn't take because they're like, who's going to check me? You
And they
need
will
to
blame
have that
Kimmi.
discipline. Of course, they'll blame Kimmi. They'll say, oh, she just is because she doesn't discipline him well enough. No, she is not his parent. I'm sorry. She is a bonus
She's not
parent.
supposed to discipline him. That's Maurice's job.
That's his job. And if he can't do it, get someone else to do it. Like literally, get Kaiwa to do it. Because to be fair, there are some parents where the father is the one who's the disciplinarian, but then there's also times where the mother is the disciplinarian, right? And whoever it is takes that lead in that role. The problem now is because the disciplinarian, I believe Kaiwa probably is the disciplinarian now, but he lives with his father who just lets him do whatever. If I was Kaiwa, I would go and pick him up and take him straight to my house.
Because he looked
Because that
annoyed. The
he
filming,
needs
he looked
discipline.
annoyed. Like it was so obvious that he was annoyed.
If
Yeah.
destruction and confusion is what Kiowa wanted, she's got it. And I agree, PBE, definitely. Kimmi, take him on back to his mama. Bye.
Seriously.
You can go ahead, do your boot camp and everything. You and your dad parent, or you know what I'm saying? You co-parent with Kiowa first before you think you can co-parent with him. Because
I'm
if
sorry, who pays for the boot camp? Because word on the street is allegedly Kimmy is the one that pays most of the things. So who
Kimmi
pays
Kimmi
for
pays
the
is
for
boot
the
camp?
everything.
successful one in that relationship.
Where
Exactly.
is
So
this
Kimmy
boot
pays for the
camp
boot
taking
camp
place
only
at?
for him to not. Exactly. And then
Kimmi is
the
big
audacity for
and
Maurice to say we need a
tired.
boot camp restored.
I'm just very mad. Let me read the comments, then we'll move on. I think she will even okay, sorry. Maurice is not familiar with this boot camp himself, obviously because he needs it. Like father boot camp, something, because he really doesn't know what he's doing. He's a bad husband. He just we'll get to that.
He needs to
I don't
take a
even want to talk
parenting
about
class. I feel like Maurice needs to be in a parenting class, and him and Kimmi need to go through some type of couples therapy.
yeah. I think she will eventually, not now, but it's coming. You can hear it in her voice. She looked very annoyed. Kimmi needs to send him to his mom. Yes, he doesn't need to be with them. Kimmi knew right away she would get the brunt of the work with Monster. She told him when he first mentioned it that she feels most of the burden would fall on her. Maurice denied it for Luke. And the part that is even killing me is that what the most annoying part of all this is that she's going through chemo, radio, and you expect me to take care of your unruly child. You know, this is no different than parents that send their unruly child to school and then leave the problem to the teacher. And then the teacher has to fight these kids because their parents are not parenting them. There's no difference. Because everybody will start blaming the teacher. Oh, you're not doing a good job. You're not teaching these children well. It's the same. It's the same. Monster nor his father or mother respect Kimmi. She's too old to allow herself to be used. And firstly, please stop calling him Monster. What's his real name anyway? Kimmi appears to be too afraid to that Maurice will leave her if she sends Monster back. Monster will have to say he wants to go back to his mother before he will be sent back. The thing is, even if Monster says so, will he send her back? He wants the optics of being a good father.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think he would send Monster back even if Monster wanted to go back because he did want to go back and Maurice wouldn't let him go. But yeah, like I said, the calling him Monster, that just feeds him into the personality and how he's acting. He's becoming a monster.
Becoming a monster.
Right. Is he really Maurice Jr.? Because I mean, either way it goes, oh hell, Maurice Jr. You know what?
Maurice
Let's
Jr. the
Yeah,
monster.
we're gonna have to find another name for this young man just so that he's not kind of tied into either one. Because being a Maurice Jr., this baby's doomed. No, with a father like him and an uncle like Marsau,
He has no hope.
uh-uh,
Probably
uh-uh.
that's why they are putting all the burden on this girl, Kimmi, to raise the child. Because it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's
Now let's
exactly right.
Selfish. She's so selfish that she's going through a lot. She does not need to be raising a child or a teenager and not
she
focus
should
on
not
now
even be
on.
cooking.
She shouldn't. They should. If Maurice does not want to do it, then he needs to get her help. Like the fact that she's still doing all of those things is insane to me. That's why she's so tired and looks tired. Of course, like chemo and radiation causes these things, right? But at the same time, you can tell that there is. It's like the sparkle in her eyes is gone. Like she
And
just
then for her
looks.
to talk about the sex, her not feeling
Ooh, next
up to
week,
having
don't
sex.
tell me he still wants sex 3 times a day. Like, when I saw that you're still going to gossip about the sex thing, I was weak. Because why?
And I'm sure she feels like if she doesn't give Maurice what he wants, he's probably going to cheat and then blame her. Like
Then
we
he
can
should
all
cheat.
see how
Hmm.
Maurice
I mean,
tries
she's
to
too old to be
manipulate
too
his
bothered.
decisions. Yeah, I'm not being funny, but to be fair, she definitely did not use her discernment marrying Maurice to begin with. Like
I feel
the
like that's
signs
why
were
it took
there.
her 7 years. She had to really, really think hard about it, and then time just kind of got away from her, and she's like, "Forget it. You know what? I'm with you. Let's just do it."
I
Mm,
see.
But
yeah.
I definitely see that there's some cracks in the foundation.
Mhm.
So now let's talk about the whole. Let's now enter into the episode. Since we've talked about Maurice. Ooh, let's start with Stormi and Tiffany. Tiffany basically is carrying this whole season. I have to give it to her. She has annoyed
Props.
so many viewers, so many of. At this point, she needs to be pregnant every season because at least she's
Oh,
giving us something to
Tiffany.
work with.
Oh,
Yeah. First,
Tiffany, Tiffany, Tiffany.
first she looks good, and she is stirring the pot. She is definitely carrying this whole season.
Listen, she's being messy. She's being messy as hell. Now, some of the mess I am definitely here for. I am here for it, but I did not like the fact of how she kind of wanted to throw out. It's almost like she wanted to get a rise out of Stormy and try to throw stuff out there, like, "Oh, well, did you know Mel was a fan?" Like, girl,
Stormy is already reason because you guys can remember. Oh, let me give a brief distance. So Stormy and Tiffany meet, and they said they wanted to hash out their issues. Someone's mic is causing an issue.
yeah, I keep muting mine just to make sure it's not mine, so I'm not quite
Yeah,
sure.
I think
Okay, it's actually with
I'll
you.
just keep muting mine as well,
Okay,
just to be safe.
so Stormy and Tiffany meet. They said they wanted to hash out their issues. I was like, okay, right, fine. And they got to the restaurants. They never spoke anything about their issue. Tiffany starts talking about the whole upscale magazine, the Sheree stuff. She said she doesn't want to be messy. She talked about Mel taking a picture with Sheree, saying that Mel is a fan, that Mel lined up with the people and went there with a book to take a picture, which is ridiculous. And then Stormi comes in ranting again about the tea party. I don't know why she has an issue with it, but she ranted again about it. And then Tiffany says, why don't you take your problems to Melody, which is the adult thing to do, obviously. And then she's like, no, I don't feel any type of way. I'm not mad about it. I don't have any feelings, but I just wish I can speak about it. And then she says again that, oh, at least my mom was able to talk about how she feels. At least one of us was able to speak about it. And then Tiffany reiterates that maybe you need to actually have this peace meeting with Mel. And then she keeps saying, no, I don't have any problem with it. I don't have any problem with it.
Right. And then to say like, oh, well, cussing each other out and basically being aggressive is a better way to hash out your problems instead of an etiquette class. Girl, you're ratchet. You're ratchet as hell. And that's
she definitely needed that etiquette class because she's way too bothered about this etiquette class.
Right.
And it was something cool.
Like I thought it was something nice. Like, honey, but you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't turn a hood rat into a lady. She's a booger wolf. She's not, she doesn't know etiquette. And then for her to say, like what you said, mentioning, oh, well, at least my mom got out what she wanted to say. Your mom shouldn't even have been there. There shouldn't even have been a problem. And for you to bring up Nell, like, oh, well, Nell doesn't even know us, but she brought up the fact that she felt the energy. Okay. Maybe she's heard things. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know what I'm saying, she knows what's going on. But then, like you said, oh no, I don't have a problem. I don't feel no type of way. But the energy, it's the energy. But I don't feel no type of way. Girl, you feel a whole type of way.
Yeah, you keep
You
saying you
feel a
don't
whole
feel
way.
a type of way, but your face is giving it away. You look pressed.
Her
you
face
look
shows
obsessed.
it. You know how you have people that say they can't hide their expressions? She is one that she cannot hide whatever she's thinking at that time. And her face gave it away that she has a problem. But she used her mom that day as her mouthpiece. Her mom should not have even been involved in that situation.
Completely agree.
Did you know she made a statement saying that at least I made this statement so that I thought you guys were going to pick it. She said her mom said at least one of us gets something off our chest, and her mom was happy.
Yes.
That means she's just proving the fact that her mom always had an issue.
Correct.
And she just proved that her mom came there to fight. Her mom came there for war. That was the mom's goal, and she felt like she achieved it, and then she left.
And her mom has a problem because of Stormi. It's all because of Stormi.
Yeah.
If Stormi wouldn't have told her what was going on.
Problem with Mel.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Stormi's mom's problem with Mel is off of the BS that Stormi has told her. Mel has not done nothing to Betty. Betty Spaghetti has not had ain't had nothing done to her by Melody Shari.
Nah, in this one, I don't agree.
They're one and the same.
Stormi's mom's beef goes years back, even before Stormi and Mel met.
Correct. As a viewer.
She had a problem with Mel as a viewer. She blamed Mel for the fall of her marriage. She said Mel was not doing enough. She you need to go to Facebook. That woman is deranged.
Well, I mean, she's come up with 4 or 5 different reasons why she doesn't like Mel, but none of them are really like reasons.
No.
Like I need her to give a good reason. Give me a reason where I could you know what? I could see that. I could see that. But you
at
don't
this
like her energy.
age and this point, she doesn't have her daughter's friends. They're not, it's not like, when your kids are teenagers and they're coming to your house and you're entertaining them. So Storm lives in a different state, in her own home. So at this point, and the excuse she gave about, oh, I didn't like her because she agreed with me. Who are you, Petty Betty, for someone to care about agreeing with you? What are you setting the standard of excellence as far as agreement is concerned that someone should even care?
Right. And it's because you said your son is spoiled, your grandson is spoiled, and Mel said, you know what, yeah, he is a little spoiled. You don't
She gave
like it?
4 reasons. Not one
Right.
reason, she gave more than 4. Because if we're
Yeah.
going back,
Her energy,
she
she
said
don't like the
earlier,
way she moves. She don't like that she agreed with her. And then it was that she don't like it because basically Mel didn't take up for Stormi in a situation that didn't even have to.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stormi didn't need to be taken up for.
She's
and
given
then
5
she
or
lied
6
that
different
Mel said that
excuses.
Stormi was ghetto. She
Yes.
lied that
Oh
Mel
yeah.
prevented Stormi from coming to the Love Marriage Huntsville.
Yes.
The list is endless at this point. I just feel like she has no real reason, but
None.
one of those things where she just doesn't like Mel. She probably can't explain it. She just doesn't like Mel. There's
And
something
that's
about Mel. She just doesn't,
understandable.
and that's
You're right.
okay.
She's right. She doesn't like the way Mel moves because Mel moves with precision.
Yeah.
Mel moves with you know what I'm saying. She moves with purpose, and of course
Right.
you're not gonna like it if you're not doing it. Like I
She
said,
probably
she's jealous of Mel. You need to be mad at your daughter because she got you out here looking like a scary movie.
Yeah, she probably actually thought her daughter in her mind, kind of like Wanda, she probably thought you need to be on that show. You're better fit than her. You have this going on and you have that going on. Because Wanda does that with her daughter. She kind of, because I use that in an example. She puts on a little mini cupcake. How you buy the little cupcakes for the kids, and she keep trying to prop Tisha up on that little cupcake. Oh no, you go. You know how you want your kids to do something, or your family members or your parents may have wanted us to do
Hmm.
something, and they try to encourage them, but you don't really want to do it. And we've all had that where our parents tried to make us do something, our moms, that we didn't really want to do. And I think that's probably what she's thinking is, Stormi, you're the one. You have this successful business. But I mean, they're not giving the real story. Tell us about Stormi leaving the house because she has a physical altercation with her dad. I mean, I can't even imagine having a
That would be
physical
a very
altercation with my
interesting
dad.
storyline. Do you know funny thing? If Stormi shows her real life, although it will look a little ghetto, but it will be interesting. Like the
Correct.
problems from her businesses. And that's the problem that the Scots also have. They think the perfect image they're trying to like cone, people are going to like it. Tell us your lawsuits. Tell us something
Right.
that will. And I don't know if it's me. Why are these people not live tweeting as the show airs? Other shows
Yeah.
Right.
do that. Get people pop. Yet, like,
Why is nobody promoting any other businesses on Twitter, on any other social media? Like you don't see any other promotions until you see them trying to copycat or compare. Oh, then
Right.
now that's when everybody wants to push out products and it's all the same. Why are y'all all in the same lane? Find your own lane and get there.
And let us see you consistently in that lane.
I
And I
want to
think
see everybody start something new. Let's see you started
Mhm.
from beginning. Let's see. I want you to go through the fails. I want to see you go through the ups, the downs, and show us what it takes to actually, make it in whether it's real estate or with the hair care products. Okay, Latisha, you done came out with a new hair care product. If you wanted to be different, show us your whole process.
Yes. Show us
Show
the
us where you went.
scientists.
Right, the
Correct. Your
scientists, the
research.
process, all of that.
was
the
it
thing
Show us
is,
something
Canvas
the
different.
that
viewers, I feel like the
Canvas was the
viewers want
one
to see
cheating?
transparency. And I feel like constantly it's like we're asking for transparency, right? So like it's like the reason why the earlier seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville was a success was because Mel was so transparent. She was not hiding behind things. She wasn't like lying in our faces and acting like everything was perfect. Instead, she came with the real and just showed us the truth. And that's why people love her. The truth is, if these people could suck it up, at the end of the day, why sign up for a reality TV show if you're not ready to show your reality? Like, stop pretending and cooking stuff up for us like we can't see that this is doctored. We're not stupid. We're intelligent people who watch the show. We can tell that this is just something that you cooked up so you can have a storyline. No one wants to watch that. If I was going to watch that, I'll watch fiction and not a reality TV show.
And
Right,
it's the
because it's
fact that
really looking scripted.
Carlos is out here bashing RHOA, Bravo, why his show is dying. Oh, did you guys hear the whole Miss Van's interview? Apparently, productions is not going to talk about this whole sex tape thing. So if you guys were thinking it's going to be in the second part of Love and Marriage Huntsville season 6, kill that dream.
That's not a conversation that's going to be had. I don't feel like that's something that they're going to bring out. They're not going to
Kill
talk
that
about that.
dream.
Yeah,
They've not
because
reached out. They've not done
Carlos is trying to
anything.
protect his baby, Mattel, in my opinion.
Exactly. That is all he's trying to protect. And it's so crazy how he will have so much commentary and insight on every other show, but you're not saying nothing about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Even before all this was going on, where was the promotion for the show? Where was the talk about it? Now you're starting to do these interviews with the cast afterwards and all this other stuff. No. Where is the energy for, promoting the new season, promoting the new episode, talking about what's going on with Martell, or even situations such as, this Tiffany and Sheree, or, Marsau and Tisha, anything. Where is the real conversation at, Carlos? You're
Carlos
worried
is
about the wrong thing.
he's too busy trying to sell us real estate in the ocean, the Pacific Ocean.
Whew. Manny, he is definitely trying to sell something that's not. He
So
need to
let's
sell
go
Martell on a
into
corner. That's about the closest thing he gonna get to selling something.
as you guys are talking, I just remembered Mattel being Grandma Shao. Did you guys see his Instagram stories? Oh my god. That might have been like a Grandma Shao in its backyard. How many people were there? No wonder he got it.
Mm-mm. And what's
Terrible.
going on with his suit and underwear and t-shirt and all that? Yeah,
We
hold
got
on.
it.
And I cannot wait to talk about the episode with him sitting there studying with Marsau.
Woo.
Oh
Yes,
Lord, how do you
let's not
study?
jump.
Somebody, please, in the comments, the
Let's
chat,
not jump.
on the panel, how do you study for an open book test?
Right, exactly.
Please, we're jumping. We're
How
going
do
to
you
get
need
there
help
because that is
teaching you?
ridiculous.
Oh, I guess he's teaching them to read.
And he had flashcards. Did you hear him? If you have 3 apples, I said, you know what? No, he did not just go to Little Johnny got 3 apples, and if you take away the apple, how many apples do you have? And Martell looking like, apples? I thought we was talking about real estate. You dumb.
Because he must have a problem with just basic comprehension if he can't pass the open book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So now let's
sounds
go
about
into
right.
the comments so we can move. Winfred said, "What's her problem exactly with the Tea Party? She's acting like she was crucified. The problem is that it showed her that she's from the other sides of the track."
I think I agree totally with that. Is that exactly what made her uncomfortable? Because it was kind of like you put that hat on her, someone forced her into that dress in the car on the way there, and it still exposed who she was, which is sad because if you're a woman that has a business and you've managed that amount of success, wouldn't you want to be able to be in any type of environment and use that as an opportunity that you've learned something?
Look, she was uncomfortable, okay? She was sitting there like she had a yeast infection. She always looking like she smells her own vagina, and it's just not right. So she was very uncomfortable, okay? And for you to bring out, well, I like to cuss, and I like to, you know what? You look like you eat on cuss chips.
And
Like you just look.
to say that to someone
Also, I
like,
think she's very sensitive.
yeah,
She's
if
like
I saw,
overly sensitive. No, sorry, go ahead.
oh, that, no, you go ahead, please.
I was just gonna say I think she's overly sensitive because remember when that lady said that means she lacks the vocabulary? Did you see her face?
Oh, yes.
I think that was the end of it for her.
Yes, it
She was
was.
done.
Oh, she didn't like her
back
anymore.
Of course, it took her back to being called ghetto. Okay.
Yes,
And
Right.
I
it
feel
She
like
didn't like
that's
that.
where it went south for her. But I relish
Yeah,
that
her face
moment. I might
changed
watch it
real
again
quick. Like,
tonight.
Yes, it did. Her
it was
face
almost like a
froze.
how dare you come back at me after I say that. Like, I think she's so used to people getting away like, oh, that's just Stormi. Oh, she's just, and that woman's like, no, this isn't right. And Stormi's mama was even looking like, did she just say that? Yes, Betty Spaghetti, she did.
Yeah, I like that she called Stormi out and she let her know. But to me, I think more importantly is that if she wants certain opportunities, she needs to learn how to present herself. And how is she going to walk into a bank, present herself to a board if she can't even present herself at a table in front of a few people?
Well, she couldn't even handle a meeting. How's she gonna? She's not gonna present anything to the board. She couldn't handle her own meeting with her staff.
Exactly.
Can't hear you, Ucha.
Sorry. I said she was shedding tears. How would you be shedding tears in front of your employees? Her husband definitely does all the talking, and it's very obvious.
Mm-mm.
That was
She got the
odd.
pale people syndrome. Stormi got that pale woman syndrome. Because she, just how she did with Black Titanic, when she wanted to cuss her out, threaten her, and all types of stuff, but then turned on them waterworks real quick.
Yeah, she knew how to
No.
put on the act.
Yeah, I think she's mastered it. Maybe that's how she even got to where she's at. We cried
Let's
some
talk
people into
about
giving her the
Yeah.
opportunity.
And she's probably crying because she knows that what she's doing, she knows she doesn't know what she's doing.
I think
She knows that she's spelling that business.
She did it on purpose. I think her tears were just like those videos. I know you all have seen her by Felicia and all those videos that she did. And I think her videos were orchestrated.
She knows how to act. Stormi, if she doesn't know how to do anything, is to act.
She don't know how to act like a lady.
No. We could put a
She
lot of
could have acted
adjectives
like
there.
that.
And because this thing, we would not have known what the inside, she did that to herself. We would not have known what the inside of her warehouse looked if she was not trying to put on this act to get sympathy from people like, oh, I know she's going to go live, so let me tell my part of the story. Let me get ahead of this.
That's exactly it right there. That's exactly it. She was trying to get ahead of the story and was like, oh my God, let me show y'all how my dogs are bleeding in here and all the hair. So if y'all catch something.
Cousin that she fired.
Where were the other 4 employees at?
She probably only hired them for that day.
I think so too.
But I don't even think she hired them. I think she brought them in, was like, hey, I need y'all to come stand in a line. I'm going to tell you what to say. And then after that, we're done.
And I'll pay y'all, I'll buy y'all a 6-pack.
You know what? Those were other people, part of production. They was like, we just going to stand here to make it look like you have people. But after this.
Confused. They look like, who are you? And why are we here again?
Right. Like, I'm just going to ask y'all a question and tell me how you feel. What would you think? And they're like, well, looking around, it looks like you just need to start over.
Because they said she brought 20 people there to work with her. So where are the 20 people that she brought?
Non-existent.
And how could you run a business that is $1 million plus business with that amount of people?
And with 20 people, how is it that you're still behind 4,000 to 5,000 orders?
But we see now that she must have forgotten that part of her telling it's 20 people. Because if you actually look at old articles about her, it talks about her being in one of the armed forces. I can't remember. It was the Navy. One of the articles said that she, and we haven't heard anything about that. So it's kind of like, which person are you?
A storyline.
Yeah.
And she's wasting it.
She is.
Now let's go on to Tiffany. Tiffany said, I'm pregnant. I don't want to be messy. Then she started claiming that Mel was a fan. Girl. as
Tiffany
Mocha
is
said,
using that baby to protect her right now. She is getting out all the mess and the
darling,
drama she can because
as
she
Mocha
feels that
said,
nobody's going to do anything
pregnant
because
or
she's
not,
pregnant.
she would have cut my hands.
Right.
You said she
Because if you can run your mouth, you can definitely defend what you're saying.
Right.
I mean, she
And that,
has, and the thing that annoys me with Tiffany is that I understand that we need someone that will be messy in the show. So I have to applaud her for taking that role. But when
yeah,
you're messy,
yeah, I
stand
don't
by
like
it.
Tiffany, but I like the old game face Tiffany. She had that same game face. She don't smile.
With her
She just
hands on
asks
her
the
stomach like
questions.
this. Yeah,
Like, I'm here,
that's a
okay? I'm
vibe.
just gonna ask you these questions. And we know that production has a lot to do with it, and they used Tiffany. They told her what to bring it up, but Tiffany just brought it all up together. I'm asked this, I'm asked that, I'm asked the other, I'm asking all at once.
She did more than they paid her for. Oh, yes, she hired Mel's 20
that's
babies.
that's why Carlos said that she's doing his job. She damn sure is.
She needs
She
to be the
damn
rose for
sure
the
is.
union because at least she's asking the question.
Yes, I
But
think she came up with
stand
some own
by
questions.
what you are saying. It's my problem. I don't mind your messiness, but stand by it because everybody doesn't have a storyline. That's the problem why we need Tiffany. If everybody was showing their storyline, we would not need Tiffany. I know that people have been saying, oh, Tiffany needs to be fired, Tiffany needs to be fired. But to be honest, if she's fired, what are we going to talk about? What's
Look,
Tiffany
she
going to
might
talk
It
not
would
about?
be
be dry.
transparent in her own life, but she definitely is transparently getting everybody else's business. She is.
I think for me,
She
when
is.
she said I'm pregnant, I don't have time for the BS. I'm like, girl, you are the BS. Like, whoa, like stand
Right.
in your truth, honey. Like you've been working
Because the
overtime, and
dark
that's okay.
lipstick,
Stop
looking
acting
Right.
like
like
a
us. Like,
witch.
oh, I'm
I'm
just
like,
trying to understand. Shut up, girl. You're trying to be messy, and that's okay. You understood the assignment, and that's what you're doing. That's all right. But stand in it. Don't be acting like, oh, I'm not really sure. I'm pregnant, guys. Like, no,
Right.
girl.
Like,
You
hold
were
on, I'm gonna
pregnant before
stir
you
up all
started
this
ish.
mess. I'm gonna stir this mess, but don't say anything because I'm pregnant,
Tiffany
girl.
Tiffany knew she would give us that shock factor. That's why she did it. Tiffany does stuff deliberate. That's how she came on the show. She says it. She doesn't have a smile when she says it. She does that little innocent look like,
like,
who, me? You know, and like, she been watching, that character from, Family Matters. Is it, like, you talking about me? And she does that
Right.
little innocent look, and Tiffany knows what she's doing.
She absolutely does. But she brings it. She will, from the very beginning, she will just bring out what she done heard. No, it doesn't matter if it's true or not.
she will
She's
just
asking those
slip it
questions.
into the conversation and then watch people get confused.
Yes. Yes, she does.
She
Because
definitely does.
it was obvious she wanted Stormi to talk. Bet me what
Yeah.
Stormi said about Mel's tea party. She's definitely going to go tell Mel. Or
Mm-hmm.
what Stormi said, she's going to go tell Mel. She needs to carry the bone because nobody is bringing a reality.
Nobody.
Did you see Stormy's face though when Tiffany was saying how Mel was a fan of Sheree's? And that
Oh
face
my
was just
goodness.
like
Don't
that
set
was
me
like the
up.
best information she had gotten that day. Like, oh my God, Mel was a fan of someone. But I didn't like how Tiffany said, well, if you stand in line to get an autograph, you
But
wouldn't do
she
that for
never
somebody you
stood
don't
in
like. Like,
line.
that doesn't mean you're a fan. Like,
She never
somebody I know
stayed
could
in
be a fan.
line
Well,
because the
Sheree
picture
kind of
was
implied it, guys.
taken
We got to call
in a
Sheree out.
crowd.
Yeah,
She implied
Sheree
it.
definitely did imply it. She did.
She did
But
her
she
Real
never said it
Housewife of
in.
Atlanta act.
Yeah, but
That's not
just
what
because you stand
happened.
in line doesn't, just because you go get an autograph from somebody doesn't mean technically you're the fan. You could be getting that for somebody else who was unable to make it at that time. Or, just because I like you doesn't mean like, oh my God, I am such a fan. Like, no, I mean, I like what you do. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Because my question is, why did Sheree even bring it up? The fact that you brought it up shows that you were a Melody fan. When she took that picture, you said, wow, I wish I spoke like her. Wow, I wish I carried
Right.
myself so
Yeah,
confidently.
because Mel went for a speaking gig and she had a book booked. So it's not like she
Correct.
traveled
She was
all the
booked.
way to
Right.
Atlanta to come and meet you. That doesn't make sense. Why would you travel
Who
with
are you?
time to Atlanta to snap a picture with you, girl? You're not that important.
Right. That's what I don't like. Is like, no, you made it like she came just for you. No, Mel had shit to do, and you just happened to be where she was at.
Right. But she gave that impression. So that did give Tiffany, I mean, all the, because when the story gets, when we try to repeat something, it's going to get changed. And Tiffany changed the story, but Sheree made her think that she was implying, because Sheree implied, she didn't say, you know what, well, Melody was speaking, because that's usually what you would say. She was speaking at this event, and I got a chance to meet her and her son. They came over and took a picture.
Ooh, we'll get to this later. Tiffany implied, like Sheree implied, Tiffany took it, and she said she didn't imply. She said Sheree said. I was like,
Yep.
because the way she was saying it with so much conviction. How would you stand on the line and take a picture and you're not a fan? It's like, girl, you need to be popped.
You don't do that with somebody you don't like, girl.
But
I don't, like I said, that does not mean that she was there for Sheree. Like I said, she could have been getting that for somebody else. And sometimes people like to collect things. Okay, girl, I see that you're here. You know what? Let me go ahead and get this autograph. I'm gonna put this up with my collected, my because Sheree is, you know what I'm saying? We do know her from Real Housewives of Atlanta.
And the
show has been going for a long time, but that doesn't mean that Mel's a fan. Because, honey, I'm sorry, I don't know if y'all seen the picture of Mel and Beyonce, but Beyonce looked like she was a fan of Mel.
Right. And we know Sheree knows how that works. So she knows how to word things where it's going to get back to that person and it's going to imply.
Right. And like PB said, Mel was a paid guest speaker at the event, and it just so happened that she took a picture with her.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. But for you to try to spin that like, oh, she was my fan and da-da-da, no.
No one is your fan. You sold less than a couple of 100 books, and those were probably all your family members.
Right. You gave most of them away.
You have a lot of them in the garage.
Amazon wouldn't even sell them.
No.
So now let's go on to Tisha and Kiki. So Kiki,
you know what? I just want to
Tisha
slap them glasses off her face.
They were going and they started gisting about the whole Tiffany stuff. Tisha is like, oh, I don't know why she's talking about me. I'm a marriage, but there's some rumor going around about her marriage saying that she's cheating on her present husband. And when Kiki was like, so she's cheating on Louis, she's like, nah, I've heard some things.
Right.
So if you've heard some things, why are you making it sound like it's a certainty?
Right. And why is it that you're always coming for someone else's marriage? And every time it's always somebody else is cheating in their marriage. What about yours, girl? Because your man has been cheating on you, probably does have some outside kids, and allegedly you're cheating.
And the thing is, like, why is this rumor always getting to you?
Right, exactly.
Right.
No one even talks to you.
You're the first person to find that out. Like, why?
Right. You don't have no friends.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It sounds like
she's gonna tell you something like this.
It just sounds like she's trying to start the rumor to take attention away from her cheating husband, allegedly.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I feel like she is deflecting and trying to take all of the attention away from her marriage. She doesn't want to have to address it herself. She doesn't want anyone else to address it. That's why they act like nobody's allowed to speak on their marriage or what really goes on. Okay, well, keep on. It's going to be spoken on because y'all aren't showing anything, but the truth is going to come out anyway. Because what y'all are showing is lies. You're scamming. You're being snakes about it. Because y'all know that this whole foundation or fundraiser thing was all just to pay their bills.
Yep. They were trying to do a Stormi, move money one
Mm-hmm.
place to do another, because it's kind of like, I find it odd. Don't you find it odd that her website still says the same address of her old location? That's because she hiding from somebody. She doesn't want anyone to know where she's at because she's robbing Peter to pay Paul.
They definitely robbing somebody, but they ain't getting nothing. Because even on the fundraiser thing,
stuff where they put Canvas Beauty, and when people called it out, she started on Facebook group. Tisha started blaming male fans. I took a screenshot of that.
what?
Started blaming male fans, saying that they went and they edited it to make it look like Canvas Beauty. And the funny thing is that people went there themselves, saw the Canvas Beauty. You're telling me that Melometers went to each and everybody's phone, hacked everybody's phone, and wrote canvasbeauty@gmail.com. Come on.
Girl,
Wow.
she doesn't have an original idea. You said everything word for word. Like, you didn't even really try to change anything, but except for the name. Okay, you added, the kids' names in there. But what you was talking about was the same thing that Stormi said on Canvas Beauty.
Yes.
But of course, it's the millimeters. Of course, it does. This had nothing to do with Mel. We're talking about your product. What does Mel have to do with what you're doing? Because we call you out on your shit, because we're not allowing y'all to just try to put the veil over our eyes, and y'all think that we're trying to manipulate y'all? No, y'all are the manipulators. Y'all are the liars, the deceivers, the snakes, the fakes, the phonies, the jakes, whatever you want to call them. Y'all are all of those things.
Exactly. These days, you can't get away. We have social media. We could fact check everything. They can't tell us they're millionaires when you could zoom in on that house and see that they're not even $100,000 a year heirs, let alone a millionaire. And then when you Google and you see he worked at a movie theater 2 years before the show. So it's kind of like, it's ridiculous. You can't expect, don't sell us this. Sell us the truth. He used to work at I would love to hear, okay, he worked at a movie theater and he was fired. And guess what? That forced him to start his own business. And this is what happened. And this is what the process looked like. I would rather that.
And talking about y'all, the ATM, yeah, always trying to manipulate.
Yeah, at the minimum.
Exactly.
Hardy, if you're trying to manipulate people, then you need to do a better job, right? The people that are really good fraudsters, they actually put a lot of effort into their ish. But you guys, it's like you guys think everyone is stupid. You need to do a lot more to be able to get people's peas.
Even people with Ponzi schemes make at least a couple mil before they get caught. Y'all are still at $100.
Yes.
And then you try to manipulate us by trying to change the currency to make it look as if you got more. No, honey, you just changed the currency. Change it back to US dollars.
I don't know why I'm stuck. I seem to be in one position.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like you're frozen.
Yeah, you guys continue speaking.
You had that face like Tiffany has when she's. That's the exact face Tiffany has when she's like, "Are you really talking to me?"
Oh,
that's definitely what that is.
I have to say, she's gorgeous, pregnant.
She is.
She definitely is. She definitely
she's
is.
activated. She's pregnant. She's ready, and her husband is going to deal with those men, and I can't wait to see him do it.
I cannot wait.
Because he's not like their husband.
Looks like he would pick Martell up.
Yes, and break him in two.
That's what I want to see. You know what? Forget all these catty women fighting. I want to see. Go ahead. I want to see somebody go up against Martell. I want Martell to go ahead and get knocked down and be looking real crazy, and then run back and tell Marlene that he got in a fight and got his ass whipped.
Yeah,
because he looks like he would do that. Run and go tell his mama that he got in a fight, and then Marlene to be coming out there. Who hit my baby?
My baby.
My baby. So
You know, my
nobody hit
baby
my
never did
baby.
nothing to nobody. I can't get my hair done. Marlene just mad because she can't get her hair done no more. Because remember when Melly was on the scene, you could tell that she probably made Martell. Did you take your mom to get her hair done? Or did you send us
Right.
some money? You could tell that she was living a different life.
Yep.
And now, why didn't he say he retired his mom? Like, why is her house in jeopardy if he's this son that's paying thousands of dollars on a shorts outfit? Why doesn't he pay for his mom's house?
Because he
Because he
don't
just
have
don't
a house.
have it. He just does
Yeah,
not have it. And the thing
no,
is, if you need help, right, behave better. People would be more inclined to help you.
right.
But it's like you are such a horrible person. Like, who in their right mind will want to do anything to help you?
Exactly. Have you all noticed like how Maurice, when he talks to Kimmi, have you all noticed that he doesn't look at her? He looks to the side or he looks down.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is so
absolutely.
annoying to
There is
me.
no chemistry whatsoever between them.
There's no respect. There's
Yeah.
no, I don't know. It just really bothers me.
She married
It
down.
bothers me that there is no real good representation of a good black marriage, or, just the representation of us as a culture is just not there. And it's sickening how we keep getting painted in this bad light, but yet it's okay. And I said this before. I feel like if Oprah didn't sell off as much as her share, some of this shit wouldn't be going on. I don't think she would be allowing a lot of this abuse to happen, because she was abused when she was younger, and even coming up, you know through her ranking of the show and all that stuff. Oprah been through a lot, so there's a lot of shit she doesn't tolerate on her network. But now that she's not majority owner, a lot of stuff is being able to happen, and I don't think that shit is right at all.
But I
Right.
want
But
to say something. Did you guys? I don't know if it's me, but I've started noticing that every single thing that has Tiffany, Kiki is always negative about it. And it's starting to come off to me that Kiki is mad that Tiffany called her out on not standing with family. That's why anything that is anti Tiffany, Kiki is going to be there. Kiki is not trying to show her loyalty to Tisha. She is looking for maybe gossip that will
Payback.
make, yeah,
Yes,
payback. It's
I
not
agree.
about
yeah,
loyalty.
there's a
She's
strain
just
with their
going to have
relationship.
something that
And
is against herself.
did you guys pick up that she said something about she would have brought it up if she was upset that, well, not upset, but she kind of felt like Tisha shouldn't have brought it up because she wanted to bring it up and
Right.
sort
Yes,
of,
she sure
Right.
and
did.
which
Yes.
meant that
She
you sitting in front of
she's
Mel and
very
trying to squash
psychotic.
things was so fake to begin with. If your plan was to confront Tiffany with those receipts later in the future,
What
that's
receipts?
bad.
Rumors.
Exactly.
You're hearing things. It's a rumor. You're not the only
Because you,
one that can
No,
get
no, it
truth.
wasn't
I
even
can
about that. I think she was talking
Yeah, it
about
was
the
about the text message.
text
oh, the
messages.
text message. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
dusty text
No,
message.
But you act like it was something so horrible.
It
That's
was
what I don't
dusty.
understand.
How long was that ago?
2 years or so.
Yeah, that's dusty.
Yeah, that's just like them
You need to
steady
go look
talking
up
about that damn
that.
Christmas party. Like,
Right.
that is old shit, old news. Y'all
Yeah,
need
like
to.
the Christmas party was like even more. You know how they shoot scenes, so that was even 6 months ago. Us watching this text message is dusty.
No, I'm talking about the Christmas party when they first was talking about the conversation with Kiki and how
Oh
like
yeah,
Tisha wasn't there. That was a couple years ago.
right.
And that was the whole issue that with
Oh
Stormy when
yes,
they was at the
yes,
spa and all of that. Y'all
yes.
going back to this damn Christmas party now.
Right,
Kiki, you got beef with Tiffany over a text message from years ago, or her basically saying, "Hey, I know Kiki's gonna tell the truth, and it'd be great to have her on the show." Now, yeah,
And the
y'all made
funny
it
thing is that
because
if nobody supported her to be a cast in the show, she would not be a cast. So that's on
right,
that. She just needs to suck it up. You fucked up. You should have stood for
right.
family.
Right.
and you were being all like, I don't understand why you're being all pissy, because Tiffany seems like she has even forgotten that you exist, but
Right.
Mm-hmm.
you are doing everything to hurt this lady. I may not be a
Right.
fan of Tiffany, but I've been noticing her kicking move, and
Yeah.
There's some underlying issues with that family entirely.
Right. It is. I think it's because they've always been pitted against each other, and they've
mm,
never been allowed to really be like we saw them in that vehicle. And
Hmm.
yeah,
I would like to see them interacting, having fun with each other instead of talking about other people, and
they
us see that
can no,
Right.
relationship.
because they want to relieve the hurt, and the fact that they've not done anything about the hurt from their childhood, they do not want to touch that.
I agree
So
with
give us the
Sahara.
storyline of
Yeah.
y'all rebuilding your relationship. Give us the storyline of how you guys got to where you are, what it was that caused the problem, and what you're doing to
Then
overcome
we
those
have to
issues.
talk about Marsau, because he plays a part in why their relationship is not good.
Correct.
Yeah, I believe that.
But I
I
think she
absolutely believe
wants
that.
to skirt around from her story. So she doesn't want, she'll talk about anything. She'll make up any kind of beef, because we've seen her make up fake beef with Melanie, and she never told us what her real issue was with her either. And she kept making up excuses. And I think she'll do anything to shed that flashlight, that spotlight from her business, all the lawsuits we're hearing about, like,
Hmm.
I guess as a viewer, I want to hear them calling it out on the show. Girl, but what about that lawsuit? See, I'm probably petty. I probably would be like, I heard you had that lawsuit, girl. I'd be calling it out. So we could say what we want about Tiffany, but she hasn't brought up any of that stuff. Just like on the
Right.
Real Housewives of Atlanta, every chance I get, every time I see Sheree, oh, is that Sheen? I mean, she by Sheree. I would shade her every time I see her.
Mm.
By the
I
time
still
I
can't get
finish,
over
she
this
would.
girl talking about some 274 for some
And the thing is
yoga.
that the only person that would definitely ask this question is Tiffany.
Yeah.
Correct. The only
And they
I'm
one.
need to
actually
take
waiting for her to
Tiffany
bring
out.
this stuff out.
They need to take
Yes.
Tiffany out before the next
Maybe
season.
people
'Cause
need to start sending Tiffany DMs like, Tiffany, you need to ask this on the show.
Right.
Because at this point,
They
Tiffany
they
is
need to.
the only
Yes, they
advocate
need
that
to
we have
send
on this
Tiffany.
show.
Yes. Yes.
Question.
They,
I have a question for you guys. Do you feel like now, because she's had this baby and they're filming the second part, do y'all think she's still going to be asking those questions and be
oh,
all
I
up in
think
the
she
mess
will.
now that
I
I
think
you
she
think?
think
Tiffany
will.
has
so.
always
We've created a monster, and she
She
will
came on the
do
show
it
that
all
way.
the way.
she will
Yeah,
continue. Did you
you're
see
right.
that
She
interview
did. She did, but it seems like it's intensified when she now that with her being pregnant,
Little
she was just.
hormones
Carlos?
kicking.
She's not giving up. She's not giving up. Once I
No,
watch that interview with Carlos, she's going to get worse. And that's
I
what we
think.
need.
I
That will force
honestly,
them to have a storyline.
I feel like Tiffany would be that way, but she, they tell them not to listen to social media. And I think that so many negative views about her being messy and, this, that, and the other made her revert
She
to,
doesn't care.
because Carlos said that's how she was like when he met her. She was like, that's what he liked about her, that she was that way. And that's the only thing that I believe that he said. But I think she would be that way if it was up to her and she wasn't listening to people to tell her not to be that way. Because I think
Mhm.
it's who she is. She
I think
messy.
I think it was the cast. I think it was her interaction with the cast that made a step back. Before it just she was always getting into with a different cast member each scene, and I
Right,
think
that's
that's
true.
what it was, as opposed to
I
because
forgot
Tiffany,
about that.
I get the impression she does not give a nothing. She really does not
She does
care.
she
She
does
is
not.
Yeah,
she really
She
doesn't.
doesn't
So
give
she's
to
the
air.
best person for the job. If anything, I need Carlos to not host the reunion and give Tiffany, because
Oh
Tiffany will
yeah.
get to the bottom of it all.
She'll ask the questions. Get Tiffany, Egypt, they gonna ask the questions. Because Tiffany, she does not care. She doesn't care. She said, come on to my house, my yard not done. You know how you tell your friends when you were like younger, girl, come on in. It's not clean, but just come on in. Tiffany
yeah,
is like, come on in.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Carlos did
Tiffany is
everything
definitely.
because he knew that this season was going to be shit. But now, I actually liked this scene that at least we're following Tiffany's pregnancy, the whole. But I was mad. You know the conversation they had here. So you guys are having a child, but she still wants to be as busy as before. How is that going to work? People already said she was using this child as a band aid for her for her terrible marriage. So you're just proving to the point to us because you want to use this child to make sure that your marriage still stays, but you don't want to take off time for work. Who is going to breastfeed this child? Who is going to be there? So you're going to put all the work on Louis. You're definitely going to push him further.
Maybe she's working so much because sometimes, being pregnant, you'll work and work and work all the way up until it's time for you to deliver, just because you know that for them 6 weeks that you're off work, you're gonna have to be down. You're gonna have to be, fully immersed, you know, in healing and taking care of the baby and all things like that. But for Tiffany, as you said, this was kind of like a band-aid to cover up some of the issues that's going on within the home. And for her to not slow down or even seem like she even is really computing like, hey, you're pregnant and about to have a baby, you're going to have to chill out. It kind of concerns me. Like maybe she will leave the baby with Lewis all the time and still just be on the go, 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 go. And this baby's really not going to give the effect that she's looking for.
I think it'll hit her. I think right now she may think that she could do, like, how you think like when you think that you could do all these different things. And I don't care what situation it is, whether you're planning an event and you're like, okay, so I'm going to give you all example. One time I was over this picnic and it was going to be like a couple of thousand people there. And I was everything that I could not find anyone to volunteer. I signed myself up. I got my hair done that morning. And Black women do not get their hair done and get in dunk tanks. I signed myself up. I couldn't get anyone at different times for the dunk tank. I signed myself up. And I think sometimes, but that taught me like I never had that issue again. It taught me how to manage a project, being in that dunk tank all day long. And I think sometimes as women, we do take on so much that we may think that we could do all these different things, and reality steps in and the baby comes and you don't want to leave that baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree with succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason, like, I've seen people around me who are like workaholics, and like when they got pregnant, they were like, "Oh, nothing is gonna change." Da, da, da. Fast forward to when the kid came, like everything changed. They took a step back. It was like,
and that's what he was
knew that it
telling
was
her.
either that or like just fall down because you haven't slept. So it was like, yeah, they had to take a step back from work. So I think that will eventually happen with Tiffany.
I don't know, maybe
Now I
she's
don't.
delusional now because
Yeah,
if Lewis is the one telling her that this baby's going to change us, and she's like, nah, 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 I'm going to work, I'm going to do this.
I think she's trying to she's trying to say it so she herself can believe it. I don't think she believes it herself. I think she's just
I don't think so either.
I just think she's saying it because she wants to keep her normal, right? And she doesn't want the baby to change it so much. But the reality is, I think deep down she knows it's going to change, and it definitely will change. Like babies have a way of switching things up,
whether you like it or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I honestly think, because you remember they were showing her on the show, and she seemed like she kind of liked being a mom, and she, was watching the boys grow up. So I kind of do feel like she really, at first people thought, it was that typical storyline. Because think about it, all the people that always say they want to have children, we never saw any of them actually. It's just a scene. It's just, but she was the only one that, she is. Oh, I thought that was, just for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's read a little bit of the comments. So you can speak, then we'll read the comments.
Okay, I think she's just overthinking it. When she said she was going to get depressed, thinking, like she was thinking about leaving work after giving birth, that she was, thinking that she was going to get depressed. I think she's just overthinking the situation. And I think she's putting much stress upon herself. Like her thinking way back to, okay, when I give birth to my child and I have to stop working, I might get depressed. She doesn't know what tomorrow would bring. So I just feel like she should just relax, because that's the truth. She has to take a little time for herself and the new baby. There's no way, the way she was saying it, I was literally laughing when she was saying it, like, I'm going to take her to my meetings. I'm like, really? Do you think that's going to be easy, having a newborn
Breastfeeding.
baby, breastfeeding, taking her to meetings, taking her to the office? The only thing you're going to be doing is literally inconveniencing most people in your office, most people that work with you. You're going to be really inconveniencing most of them. So I just felt like she was overthinking it. But I feel like Tiffany, being who she is, I feel like when she gets to that time when she really gives birth, a lot of things are going to change. And I think she's going to change along with them.
I agree. Like, they don't talk about
All right.
Tiffany's business, but like she has a legitimate business as well.
She's the only one that I really know. She works with small businesses and all those kind of things. She does
Mhm.
Definitely.
talk about it, but they do not show it. So
Yeah,
now
as
let's
far
look
as
at the comment
storyline
section.
goes, we already know the two.
Kiki looks like she's being a bodyguard for Tisha because Wanda is off the show.
I think so. I agree.
Question: how
Yeah.
did Kimmi know where Mel and her class members were working? Like the location. Kimmi walks up from nowhere. What did I miss? You missed production.
And yeah, we know that scene was definitely scripted. And you know what was strange about that is, when she said, "Oh yeah, this is the guy I was telling you about, and he sold this amount," and Kimmi was like, "Oh yeah," And remember, and I think back to just Kimmi first season. "Oh, you're so bougie. Oh, we don't want to go to all these parties. Oh," and all the
Mm,
things that they're saying that they didn't want to do. Her and Tisha are trying to do, and if she did, activate herself a little more. But I didn't get the impression Kimmi really wanted to sell like that. It seemed like that was more Maurice's idea. I would think she would be in healthcare and doing something as an advocate with her own non-for-profit in that
Some
respect.
yeah.
people do not want to be reminded about the fact that they went through chemo, radio, and all those kind of things.
Well, not that. What she was doing as far as, because remember, she told him from the beginning she was not interested in that. That was his thing. It
We may
was
never
not.
know.
I'm sorry.
I said we may never know. What if she got interested? You know, people keep saying, and I agree that she's looking for something that will probably take her out of the house for a long time.
Yeah, she needs an escape. She needs something, and that's why I said I definitely appreciate Mel trying to get her away from that situation or give her another avenue to kind of help heal her mind, because sometimes working is a healing factor. Just being away from the house, being out of the situation that causes you the most stress. You need them hours or some time away from that. So yeah, I think Kimmy at this point, she definitely is trying to find something that's going to get her out of the house and away
Yeah.
from Maurice and the whole situation.
Well, she's
She
been
needs it.
forced into this retirement, so she definitely, I think, wants to get out of the house with these sloppy people that aren't doing anything to help her, even in this time that she's not feeling her best.
Yeah. So let's go on. Someone says Sahara Johnson says it seems more like she's attaching herself to Tisha so as to seem nice and probably stay in the show. That's my own thoughts.
I agree.
So now let's move on to the scene that everybody wants to talk about. Whew. So Tiff, no, I find this very no. I'm not gonna give my thoughts yet. Martell invites Tiffany that he wants her to give him advice on a business, and then she comes unprepared, and then it basically just attacks her with the question. And then
Set
Marsau
up.
is there.
Yeah,
Marsau
he
thinks
definitely
that
had her there under false
he
pretenses.
is teaching Martell to read for the open book test. Now I'm tired. This is the second episode back to back we're seeing Martell reading. I am tired. No, is it the second or the third? This is the third
Third.
episode back to back. We know
We know
at this
yeah.
point we know we are tired. But he hasn't still taken the test. So
Right, take
enough.
the test already. Like, damn. It is
Exactly.
an open book test. You know what? Boss Baby could pass it. Sugar Mama could pass it. Hell, I could pass it without studying. What
Without
in
the
the
book.
hell?
Right.
I just don't get it. Somebody make this make sense to me. How do you
But
fail repeatedly?
fail an exam, the worse and harder it gets for you to pass, regardless of how simple that exam is.
Yeah.
And the fact that every of the episode he brought the books, you literally know he's not reading them because they end up either gossiping or talking about something else. Like also today's episode, when we saw the book, but we never saw it opened. And after it was like, oh, okay, I came here to read on something, and it packed up the books without opening it, and he left. So that shows that he's a very unserious person. You
Exactly.
brought the
That's
book,
Those
read.
really weren't even builder test books. He had a
It's
phone
the
book,
only
the
reason
kids'
why
book.
he's doing that, because people have been calling him out that why aren't you preparing for your builder's license test? So he's doing this so people won't call him out. But now it's quite obvious that he's actually not even reading anything. But one thing I
Mm-mm.
want to say in this scene, yes, Tiffany needed to be confronted, but Tiffany did not need to be confronted by two males. If Sheree had a problem with what Tiffany said, Sheree should have confronted Tiffany, or he should have used another lady to confront Tiffany, probably a lady in this circle. Martell ought to have confronted Lewis, and Marsau should have taken himself out of this because he had no business with all this. He had no business at
Right.
all, because two men coming at her was just unneeded. She
He,
needed to be called out. She needed to be dragged because yes, she has been doing some things that have been really like, I'm like, girl,
Right.
you're pregnant. But no.
no, it should not have been done like that. Marcel definitely showed his vagina, because for you to sit there and it's like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. Tell me.
Right.
Why?
And he knew Marsau would do that because, that's what Marsau does is he inserts himself. So he knew, because otherwise he would have gotten the business taken care of and said, okay, Tiffany, I have something else, I want to talk to you about.
Mhm.
Thanks so much for your feedback with this. We need to step aside. Or he would have had Marsau not to be at the table. Marsau, I just need to holler at Tiffany about this. So, we just need to talk. So I'll get with you later, because obviously you're not going to continue studying if Tiffany's there and you have a whole meeting plan.
Right. And you had her there under false pretense because you said you were talking about the
Exactly.
Jubilee. But
like the
yet
thing is,
you never mentioned it.
what if something terrible happened to Tiffany right then and then and happened to the
Right.
baby?
Because she was really breathing
Seriously.
hard. She was breathing
Like
hard.
seriously.
Because and this is my problem with Tiffany. Did you see how she was backtracking? If you want to
Hmm.
be messy to the end. Mattel could have just had a conversation with her if he wanted. But I have a problem with, because she did not tell him anything. She had no conversation with him, so he ought not to have been mad. A Ray should have confronted him. But let's just be honest, that most times it would not happen. But in the least or the closest ideal situation, that's Mattel confronting her alone. Should have been honest. I want to have a conversation with you for what she said to Sheree and end it.
Hmm.
And the whole I cheated, didn't you cheat is the same thing. She cheated, but you are still cheating. So it's the
Right.
same thing.
You're still cheating on everyone that you're messing with.
She cheated. You have a constant a continuous pattern of cheating. You are a
Which
cheater.
makes you a
That is
cheater.
just like
Like you're a certified cheater.
Right.
yeah.
That's why
She's
she
someone
should
who
have
cheated.
stood on what she
You
was
are a
saying.
cheater. A cheat.
That
That's who you are.
that is the only test he's ever passed is cheating.
Right.
And
That's it.
also, I know Tiffany backtracked. However, before she backtracked, if you notice, she actually held her ground. But
Yes,
then
she
they
did.
were coming for her.
That's when
And
she backtracked.
that's when she backtracked. I feel
Yeah.
like she actually held her own considering it was two men coming at her, especially Marsau. Marsau, what is your problem? What is your business? Like, why are you
Go and
coming
tell
for
your
this
wife
woman?
why you were in Africa.
Like, and the thing is, it's almost like he's checking Tiffany the way he would check Tisha. But Tisha is not Tiffany.
Exactly.
Tiffany is Tisha. So he needs to dial it down a whole lot
Yes.
and business.
To me,
And
that it would have been an
for
idea if Martell would have had, you know, Martell and Sheree and Tiffany and Lou. Okay, y'all are sitting down together. Bring up the conversation like that. Let Sheree bring up how the situation went, what was said, since it was a conversation between those two women.
Right.
Not where you're having this conversation with Marsau, even though he could be, you know, a woman at times too. He is still not a woman that was involved with the situation, and he had no business being there. And did y'all see how Martell walked out like a little kid? You know what?
Yes, he
I'm just
did.
gonna. He just
Oh,
he
wow.
I'm
gathered
gonna
up.
tell
He
your
gathered up
husband.
all
I'm
his
gonna tell
little
your
library
daddy.
books.
I'm
I,
gonna
I
tell him.
I really thought that he realized at that moment that he was wrong in confronting her alone and with Marsau together. At that moment, he
Hmm.
realized, I think I effed up, and I think I
I
have to
guess I
backtrack a little
effed up,
because
basically.
I don't understand why he will later on say, because why I said I felt like he realized he effed up was with later on he was saying that, oh, I'm gonna bring it up with Louis. Why would you want to
Yeah,
bring it up
You should have just
again
brought it
Exactly.
up with
after you
Lewis
brought it
because
up
that
to
was the
me
right
first?
action to have done. Or
right. You
Exactly.
confront
should have thought
her
about that.
in front of Lewis.
Yes. Like, how do you bring a
Right.
pregnant woman, someone who's heavily pregnant? Don't get me wrong, she started the BS. I appreciate that. But as a man, how do you bring a and then have backup, but she can't have her own
Right.
backup? Like, seriously,
Right.
why would you
Right. And
bring her
then you
just for
come to her.
she came thinking you're talking about business. And this is part of why Mattel
I would
cannot,
never do
I don't want to
business
say
with you
cannot support,
ever again.
but
Never.
it's clear that he doesn't take his business seriously. Because
No.
He
remember when he
he
was
loves
meant to be
mixing
at a
business
meeting?
with pleasure.
Exactly. Remember when he was meant to be at a meeting, but then showed up because Mel was having a date, like allegedly, right? So he has a pattern of constantly fumbling the bag. So
Yes,
if
he
you're fumbling
does.
the bag, you can't be surprised when you don't have the bag. You don't have anything left to fumble. You ain't get
That's
it.
that's where him and Sheree actually, well, they probably aren't good for each other, but they're the same person in that respect of, that she's chief master's PhD in fumbling the bag.
Both of them's bags got holes in them. They
Both
can't
of
keep
them.
nothing. Can't keep nothing. And it's so crazy because honestly, they have good ideas.
Yep.
You could actually make some money off what you're doing, but y'all don't know how to be business people. Like you're not a good businesswoman. He's not a businessman. Y'all don't know how to promote, network, nothing. Y'all are
And
doing a disservice to all of
that's the
any
thing,
ideas
right?
and dreams y'all have. Is you're not working it.
And the thing is, that's okay. Just partner with someone who can execute business ideas, right?
Right.
Right.
Partner with someone who, or just sell your ideas. Like, you could make so much from selling ideas, or partner with someone who is business savvy. Simple.
Yeah.
It's
Because
like,
can
you
you
know,
see
somebody
how
is
this
not your
is suit
friend.
line is
Stop
lying in
pretending.
natural death? After the first 3 days, with the whole drama of the whole sex day, now we are not hearing anything about it.
Yep.
Yeah. We barely
Exactly.
heard anything about it. We heard a little bit here and there every now and then about that suit line. Then it was, oh,
Then
okay,
he
well,
started
it's about to
promoting
drop.
Ines Twine. I thought Ines Twine had died.
I thought so
I was
too.
shocked for
A
like
fast
I was
death.
very shocked.
Right. Listen, he is trying to resurrect it all. I'm waiting for him to come with this underwear line. Maybe it's made for, kids.
When that
Because
season
I don't
starts,
see him packing nothing in there.
they pull everything
Woo!
out when the season starts. It's kind of like, because when you look at, I remember when I looked at, when that wine, when Marsau and Tisha first said so I have like a different idea about, I think different, like for most people that I've talked to about reality TV, and I think only 15% of it is real. And my best friend, she watches every show, and she disagreed with me. And so she disagreed with me until Tammy Rowan got on and talked about how she lived in a different state and how they flew her in, and how now all this stuff is starting to come out that never came out before. And when she told me that Marsau and Tisha were starting a wine, this was when that first happened. I Googled it. The information was out there, but it seemed like people were, even a lot of bloggers were surprised now to find out, but that information was out there because I said, but these are white people. This isn't and the company is in a different country. And the more and I'm one where you have to walk me through that process. You know how like Melly talked about meeting with the scientists and the R&D. So I want to see that stuff. And just like with Tisha, I don't see that stuff with her. So I think these people are just slapping labels on stuff.
Stormi
Yes.
was one whole product.
Yes.
So basically, Stormi is getting a cut.
Right.
That's
so I think
smart, honestly. That's smart. I have to give it to Stormi. I may not like her, but that's smart. Even if it's 10%, that's a lot.
Yeah. Depending upon what they sell.
Isn't that like the blind leading the blind, though?
Yeah, that's what I say. If it sells.
Because I'm sorry, I wouldn't want somebody helping me who's going through lawsuits who have back orders.
She could have launched a line under Canvas Beauty because they do not know how to promote. The only reason why Black is what it is right now is because they go there and shoot.
Right.
People are like, oh, I really want to go to Black. I really want to take chocolate in a bottle because they shoot there. Aside from that, the promo for this product has been shit. They might as well have just had a collaboration with Canvas Beauty and be like, oh, we're releasing the Marcy Amila line under Canvas Beauty.
Right. Because people even thought like, oh, wow, they're really doing it. They even had the slutty vegan. I'm like, do you not think that the show called and said, hey, we need you to do this and this is what we need?
To ads. That was advertisement for slutty vegan.
Correct. But I think the show production has everything. All they have to do is make a phone call.
But they're making the wrong calls. Whatever calls they're making, it's getting disconnected.
Also, guys, I have a question.
Whitney really traumatized me.
Yeah, I have a question. So, is it just me or that scene? Do you think they edited out the bit where Marsau said something about that would make him want to smack her? Something like that.
I think they edited some other stuff out.
Puppets. I think they are creating false narratives so that people will tune in because it can be either ways. It can be either it said Sheree will smack her really, or it was like, or it would have been he would have smacked her.
Right.
Well, that's what he had said. He was he said she would. He said something about she would have smacked you.
Yeah, like Sheree.
So, like Sheree would have smacked you.
I thought he said himself because that's when they were, because that's the purpose of, isn't that the purpose of, I don't know, maybe it was just because the fact that he confronted his wife is why Big Lou is very upset about it. So maybe that's.
But do you know that?
Yeah,
after watching Ready to Love, I don't believe anything. Because Ready to Love people, they speak. They don't care about productions. They edit these scenes and take things that they did not say and attach it. It was from Ready to Love. I knew that you would be somewhere else and they will edit you into somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I told her that, because I watched 2 already love. And after I saw that whole thing, then I said, no, this is not real. And I asked her, why do they call it reality TV? They need to not call it that, because it's not, it's so much like you're telling me, like I'm a person where when you tell me I'm an exact word person, I'm expecting to see a show about millionaires and about their success and hear about their businesses.
Yeah.
And you may spread and add a little other stuff in it, but I want to see what you told me that I tuned in from the beginning, because I watched it from the beginning. I've watched it where I used to, like, Kimmi has come for me like a couple of times in the chat because I've had my opinions, and she was like, how do you know I knew he was going to law school? And I'm thinking at that time it sounded crazy, but when we think about the Maurice he is now, I'm like, you know what, I need to go back and apologize to her, because she's absolutely right. Maurice probably bought his books, registered, came home and said, guess what I'm doing? And I signed up for law school.
PBE said that scene comes up when they talk to Lou.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Pretty Brown.
Yeah, that's where I thought he said it was to Lou, right? Right, PBE? He said it to Lou.
I think that might be right. Mm.
And you notice the
I
difference
thought he
in
had
how they
said
were
it to her
speaking.
then.
They could not speak to Lou because it's obviously way bigger than them.
Yes.
They were all quiet.
Because Lou gonna handle him.
Yeah, because when Lou told Marsau, oh, okay, so next time something happens, I'm gonna go to your wife.
He said, no, you're
It
not.
was
Right.
like Marsau was like, he was shook for a second, like, damn, wait, no. But I still, even Marsau, I think Lou will take Marsau too.
Oh
He
yeah,
will
Lou
fold
with no
him. It will
problems.
fold all of them. It will fold all of them.
Will fold them like sushi.
Maurice was trying to be the peacekeeper. No, that's not what they meant, man. No, just wait a second. No, hold on.
Right.
Please don't hurt my brother.
I have a dream that one day Lou won't kick our butts.
They all deserve it though. They should not have went up against Tiffany like that. Two men. Listen here, well.
But Tiffany was crying like a victim. I was like, damn, this girl.
Yeah, you gotta own it. You gotta own it, girl.
Empowering in her, because I was very shocked when that scene came up in the preview for next week. I was like, come on, girl.
No. Hey, she was tough at the table though.
I think,
it's okay to cry in front of your man, but
that's normal though, right?
I'm seeing
because I think that's a normal reaction, because I'm gonna tell you all, one time I had someone, I used to sell IT training and certifications to corporations, and this guy tried to take one of my sales, and I was cool, calm, and collected there. However, when I was on the Chicago streets walking across the bridge, I called and I said, and I was telling my daughter the story, and I said, and I was almost hyperventilating as I was telling the story to her, but I was cool while I was there. And so I think sometimes you are cool. You are not showing that emotion. You're not going to give them that satisfaction, but when you get home, you may let it out of what you really felt.
Yeah, I think as someone who has had some delayed reactions in my life, I kind of understand that, where in that moment, you're not even as upset. Then you're in the shower and you're like, wait, what?
Right.
No.
Right. It hits you a little bit differently afterwards.
Right. I shouldn't have done this. I hate when that thing happens to her.
But Marsau calling her a Karen though.
Yeah.
It happened to you
but
like a while ago.
Happy to that white side. With the way she has been moving.
I'm telling you, she said, are you saying this because you called me Karen? Is this why you calling me Karen?
What?
My name is Sharon, okay, not Karen.
She killed me. Well, that scene was just too much. Yes, Pretty Brown Eye said, yes, he said it, period, and that's when they were going to fight. But production caught him saying she should.
I bet that. Yes. Yes.
Because it's quite
Mhm.
obvious. This is the problem I have with these people. They never air out productions. Ready to Love people,
Oh, they air them out to dry.
they will come like, you're not going to ruin my reputation.
Correct. They will air
Right.
them out
I
on
think the
there.
reason Ready to Love folks can do that is because the show is done. They never have to come back on the show. But like with this, it's like if you air production out too much, you might never have a job. So you might not have a
But
job to come back
Mattel
to.
airs them out. Mattel always
Oh yeah,
complains.
he
Mattel
does.
is the prince
But he's
Mattel
the
of the
idiot.
show. Mattel
complains,
is but
but
the
somehow they still make it.
yeah, Mattel
Martell
gets a
tries
pass.
to air out anything and anyone that comes against him and tries to show, the truth about him. Or
That's
if they're not letting him do the bullshit, then that's when he wants to try to have an attitude like a kid and throw a tantrum.
Yeah, his is more of a tantrum than air out.
Mm-hmm. Because he's a kid. That is
They're
a
calling him out. He's having another tantrum. Like, okay, Martell, you're having another tantrum. We
I
understand.
didn't know that recently he's trying to parade himself to look like someone that is successful. I have no problem with him being successful. At least he would not be carrying Mel to court for child support anymore. But it's
Right,
quite obvious that it's a facade.
right. Or need his electric bill paid.
Neither does he have a house.
or need some new loafers.
Right. He is wearing those same tired suits, yet now he has a line.
I mean, he has been wearing that white suit in like so
Right.
many things. At this point, I'm like,
At this point, it seems like Martell's so slow that when they said his own suit line, he went in his closet and just got out all his old suits and was like, "This is my own suit line. Look." Like, no,
Right.
that's not what we meant.
Yeah,
Like
that's not what.
you gotta
Right. They're
make
like,
them.
oh no, we have to tell him what that means because he brought his own.
Right. He bought his own. Like, no, nobody's gonna get inside of your suits. Like not your
Right.
personal
They're
suit.
not getting into your skinnies.
I'm
Some
telling
people
you,
actually have,
he wears
some men
things
have
that
dicks.
Hank
I'm
can
sorry,
wear.
they can't fit these.
No.
Not all
Suit
men like
line,
yeast infections.
yes, and this is the problem that I have with people that keep saying
I
he needs
agree,
to be
PBE.
of the show.
Yeah.
Mel no longer wants to be called messy.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to drive the storyline.
That's
And
true.
that's the same problem that's happening with Villas of Atlanta. Kenya no longer wants to be messy, so there's no longer anybody to drive the storyline. So we need someone that's going to shake everything out. But
Mm-hmm.
what
Tiffany's
we're gonna
doing
have
it.
do not backtrack, do not change your storyline because you already said this and you said, oh, I'm not being messy. If you were not
Mm-hmm.
being messy, stand by what you say.
Right. You came in messy. Stand on it. That's
Right.
you. Like,
Just say
we
that's who
know
I
how you
am.
are.
Right. I
Right.
am who I am. And I am messy.
Pregnant or not pregnant, the pregnancy just made it worse. So just know
Yes.
it's
I
not
agree
going to change.
with Pretty Brown Eyes. She did save the show. But
Tiffany definitely has saved it this season, especially after the first few episodes, and we seen how bad they was editing and clipping, and just there was no story. It was boring. It was
all over.
just
Yeah.
Those first 2-3 episodes was
Yeah.
yeah.
terrible.
Tiffany she's definitely saved it these
She has
past few
saved it.
episodes.
You know what? That's why I'm not on a reality show. I would be like, don't y'all know? When I was messy like Tiffany, I would say, don't y'all know that this is reality TV?
Right.
Like this is what we supposed to be doing, girl. You better get you're not gonna be here next year. You saw what happened to Destiny.
Ooh.
They
Right.
cut her out. They cleaned her from every single scene that she was in.
Y'all seen
Like
how
what
quickly they clipped her out of that one last
Yeah.
week. They was like, "Oh no, we couldn't show her. Hurry up, get her off the screen."
Yes, Lady
they
B,
removed her.
pregnant and all, she carried it. Those hormones, so you know how it is. Because I tell you, when I was pregnant, I did have a tantrum because my sister-in-law ate my pickle. And while I was getting my hair done, I was thinking about how I was going to eat this pickle. So, you know,
Right.
those hormones sometimes kick in. And Tiffany probably was, having them different moments where these different emotions come out. Because they do come out when you do go through different hormonal feelings and reactions. And And somebody may get what they get. So Sheree that day, Tiffany was clocked in and Sheree got what she got. And at that end of that conversation, she said, you cheated too? She said, I'm going to get her. What about you? Oh, yo, this holding him? You know, you brought up me cheating, but I got one for you, girl. You owe this Marlene. You owe us Marlene. Guys, listen to that on my...
So we've been here for 1 hour, 45 minutes. Does anybody have any last words before we wrap this up?
Tiffany, stand on your word, girl. Don't backtrack no more, honey. If you want to be messy, Tiff, then you do that, baby. Talk your shit, Tiff. Talk and stand on it. We will stand with you if you do that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the only thing I want to see is next week's episode. I need to see Big Lou handle these men. Because the way they came for Tiff was not acceptable at all. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to A Queen's Tea with Giginan, reviews and recaps. And thank you, Succeed, for coming in. You didn't respond to my email, you know that.
You sent me, you know what? I'm so sorry. You sent me an email? I'm so sorry. I'm going to respond to it.
And
yesterday was National Italian Beef Day.
Oh, yeah.
It really was. I was at Bona Beef.
Some things, you got to prioritize.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and support in whatever form you want to. But don't forget to subscribe to A Queen's Tea with Giginan, reviews and recaps. And thank you for Succeed for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. EST, to talk about Readers of Atlanta. I hope it's going to be interesting because I'm ready.
Okay, T. And she has a date again. She had a date yesterday. She had to get off yesterday.
He was actually here. I don't know if you guys seen. If you watched in my camera view, I had to turn my camera.
We didn't hear Barry White today.
The camera slightly.
Yeah, no. He actually was sitting here at the beginning of it, but he had to go to work, so
he said
he's
he
off
wasn't
to work.
Talk today. He said, "I'm not going to give him that voice today."
Not today. But I actually let him hear it and listen to like what we said yesterday because he couldn't hear it and he was just cracking up. So yeah, so I was like, so you got to get on here. So yeah, it'll happen.
Okay, you all. Well, you all have a good evening.
Later, ladies.